Hello everybody, welcome to my channel 25th and South. My name is Cece and today you're watching an apartment speed build renovation. And so if you have been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that a few weeks ago I did a messy apartment speed build and I made it for a newlywed couple, but the apartment that I used was Salim's apartment from City Living. He's a townie. He's probably one of my most favorite male townies, and since I kicked him out, I decided to go ahead and give Salim a brand new apartment. So I have moved him to one of the Jasmine Suite apartments. I believe he now lives across from Aaron and Jasmine, or Jasminder. I think their last name is pronounced Biha, something like that. Anyway, so I decided to move him into this apartment, and I made it a 3-bedroom apartment, though he lives by himself. There is sort of a guest bedroom, and then one of the other bedrooms is his office space. And so if you have City Living, then you know that Salim is a writer, or he has aspirations to be a writer. And so I decided to try to make his apartment sort of the type of apartment that I believe a writer would have, a more successful writer would have. So in my mind, he has written a few books and he is sort of established himself within the writing community. So I wanted his apartment to look very well lived in, and like he's traveled a lot, or he has a lot of inspiration from all over the world because of his travels and the type of work he does. Anytime I've played him, I've made him more of a screenwriter, but this particular build, I think he would be more of the type of writer that maybe does more essays, maybe a few like travel type books, not really fiction or novels, more nonfiction. Maybe he writes about tribes that he's visited or other ways of life or things like that. So that's really what this apartment is supposed to feel like. And now he's probably settled in the city, or at least this is where he comes when he's not traveling all over the world. So you saw I did do the kitchen. I made it really small because I don't think that's a priority to Salim cooking. I think he'd much rather go out to restaurants and, you know, rub elbows with other socialites within the city. So having a big kitchen isn't really his priority. So I just made it a really small one. I wanted the apartment to feel very warm. So the living area I use that base game sort of the sort of paneling, wood paneling in the cream color, and I use that in the master bedroom as well. I use this worn carpet that is from Get Famous. It's my favorite carpet. Anytime I want a space to feel really homey or really worldly, I use that carpet. And as you can see, I use the island living little chair as sort of a space where you'd probably sit down and put your shoes on or take your shoes off, and instead of normally I would probably use a console table. And like I said, I just try to use a lot of pieces in this apartment that look like he got them from maybe antique stores or thrift shops or just places from all over the world. So I used a lot of Island Living. I used Jungle Adventure a lot, and then I used some City Living since we are in the city. I tried to I think in the bedroom I used some City Living things, but I don't limit myself on packs. I use pretty much everything. Maybe one of these days I'll have a limited pack build, which would definitely be a challenge for me. As you can see, I use that globe bar in there because I love using that bar for small spaces. I know it doesn't really provide a whole lot of drink options, but it fits so well. As you saw, I had a big screen TV, and then I thought, no, Salim wouldn't have a huge television. He'd have maybe a small TV just to watch the news, but he's not really watching TV. So instead I just put that tiny one, and now I'm working on the master bedroom. And again, this is where I start using SimCity Living. The master bedroom was a little hard for me to configure. I did start to put a workspace in here, and then I remembered I have 2 other rooms in this house, so I swiftly move the desk out of this room and into one of the other rooms, because I think, especially if you're someone who has a career where you could easily work from home, I wouldn't put your workspace in your bedroom, because I think bedrooms should be for sleeping. Like, even in my own apartment, there's not a TV in my bedroom. I do have my desk in there, but a lot of times when I'm working on sim stuff, I'll move my laptop to the living room, unless I just want to sort of sit up a little bit easier. I'll move it in there, but 9 times out of 10 I'm in my living room sitting at my coffee table doing my sim stuff. I did put these 2 bookshelves in here. I ended up sort of reconfiguring this room because when I went to play test it, Salim couldn't get to the desk. I don't really know why, but I just sort of moved things around. You'll see in the screenshots. Now for the guest bedroom, the idea behind it was, this is probably a room where if he's gonna have someone over, it's just sort of a throwaway room, really. So I put a twin bed in here. This was probably the hardest room to do. Ironically, it's small and there's not a whole lot going on in there, but I kind of wanted to just have this tiny room. I did forget that I made up a space to have a walk-in closet, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I can have a walk-in closet. So you saw that kind of moving around in there. But like I said, I went with a twin bed from Cats and Dogs, I believe, or this is either Cats and Dogs or Parenthood. Off the top, I can't remember. I was going to try to use that making the twin bed a double bed technique. I've seen other simmers do it, but I wanted a piece of workout equipment in here, and there wasn't enough room to do that little trick. But like I said, this is kind of throwaway room. I have kind of boxes and things that papers and things in that room that Celine likes to keep hidden away. And then I decided for his master bedroom to put a little seating area. Now I went with this get to work love seat. I know it's meant to be like in sort of like a jail setting and not meant to look very comfortable, but depending on what swatch you use, it does look like kind of a comfortable, maybe like leather sort of structured or industrial style couch. At some point I do rearrange the sort of the bathroom in the hallway, because I did decide I wanted him to have laundry, and I like playing with laundry. I know I'm probably the minority of people that like playing with it. Even in real life, I don't mind doing laundry. The part of laundry that I don't really do is the folding and putting away of the clothes. Literally, my bedroom doubles as as a closet because I just throw everything on my bed. All clean, it's just on my bed, and then I just carve myself out a little space every night. So I don't, like I said, I don't mind laundry, and I think it, especially if you're playing with children in the game, when the kids do laundry or the teenagers do laundry, it ups their responsibility. So I like putting in there, and then it's just easier to stick it in there than it is to realize you want to play with laundry and have to try to find a space for it. So one thing I did do is make this huge gallery wall in the living room. I have seen photos of actual like New York apartments or other apartments that have really tall ceilings, and people just sort of fill up the large walls with tons of different kind of art, and I love that. My apartment, my ceilings are low, but I do have kind of gallery walls in my living room where I just kind of I'm not really able to fill it up, obviously, the way a lot of the other apartments are, but I thought it would just look so cool. And since you can't change the wall height in the apartments, I figured just filling this up would work. And since there's not a huge TV, once again, fill it up, make it really look lived in, make it look well traveled. I also put a lot of plants in this apartment, and I put a lot of book clutter in this apartment because, again, he's a writer. So I imagine he reads a lot and gets a lot of inspiration. I put these little tea lights throughout because it just really warmed up the space. I wanted something to put in the kitchen because, like I said, Celine doesn't really use the kitchen at all, so I thought, oh, we'll just stick a little tea light in there. I did have a little trouble trying to figure out what to put in the kind of seating area. Like I said, I use that Get to Work love seat, and I use a Get Fitness chair. I put that mirror above the bed. Mirrors make any space feel bigger. And then it took me a minute to kind of figure out what I wanted to put next to that love seat. I wanted to put a sort of side table, and you'll see me kind of struggle with whether or not I wanted to size it down or size it up because I didn't want to block the master suite bathroom, and I was afraid that I would, but I kind of just sort of continue to clutter up this space. And kind of my style of building is I'll put down all the big stuff first, and then I come back through and I clutter it up. So if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you know that, as you saw there, me struggling trying to decide, because that little island living lamp, it wouldn't sit on the table sides down, and so I gave up and sized the table back up and just kind of moved it in front of the love seat a little bit, and that seemed to work. Once again, more and more plants, and I think this is pretty much almost done with the apartment portion. I also included a sort of cast makeover of Salim. I'll show you what I put him in for his everyday outfit, but I did change his entire wardrobe. I didn't put it all in because I didn't want the video to be too long, and I would have done a separate cast video of just him, but I don't know, I thought it would be better to just include it in here. Well, I thought this portion of the video was done, but guess not. I do sort of clutter up his desk and his office with a lot of work stuff. Like I said, I think when he is working on a book, he probably locks himself away in this room and only comes out long enough to grab some leftovers from the kitchen and then goes back in there and just gets to work. Put a little decor in this room. One thing you could do is you could get a roommate for Salim and maybe move out that treadmill, since he could easily just go to the gym and therefore get a bigger bed in there. I do love that new roommate feature that came with I think it's just a general update, or it could just come specifically with University. I'm not sure. I got University about the same time the update came through. So I don't know which came first, sort of like the chicken and the egg kind of situation. Which came first? I have no idea. And like I said before, here I'm reconfiguring this bathroom in order to include laundry in it, because it is easier to just go ahead and put it in there, and that way if you decide to download this apartment and you don't want laundry in there, you can just take it out, and if you do, then you won't have to worry about how to fit it back in. And so there I go, putting in the hamper. And now this is the end of the renovation portion, and I'm about to move on to the cast portion, but I think I will end my voiceover right here. So if you liked this renovation, please let me know by way of hitting that like button, giving me that little happy thumbs up. Comment down below, what do you think about the apartment? How do you play with Salim if you do play with him? Is he just someone in the background of your Sims life, or have you actually played with him at all? And if you haven't already and you're interested in seeing more content from me, please subscribe. I try to post every single week a couple of videos. I do cast videos, speed builds, sometimes I do a combination of both like you see in this video, and I do have a couple of let's plays on the channel, and I would love for you to join. But again, my name is Cece, and I promise never to break your game. Bye.